Welcome back to the Average Asian Boys podcast. My name is John.
Hello, my name's Ray.
And as you can see, we survived the great heat wave
Yep.
that happened earlier this week.
Oh boy.
Or in the last episode. Yep. And currently right now in BC, we're moving on to what they call phase 3, which means apparently you can... you don't have to wear a mask.
That's right.
If you are fully vaccinated, you have your second shot or something like that, I think.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
I think everyone's pretty much interpreting it as you just don't have to wear your mask, period.
I guess so, yeah.
Because I went outside, I went downtown yesterday and like nobody was wearing a mask. Like nobody.
Yeah, they were saying how those who are unvaccinated try to wear a mask if they can.
Right.
But you know what? People can't stop people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this thing was ever legally enforced in the first place or whatever.
I think it was. I think it was legally enforced. Like, mask wearing was definitely legally enforced. There's a lot of videos where people in the transit stations and stuff were forced to get off the station if they weren't wearing a mask. So.
Oh, I see. Well, I certainly
Yeah.
didn't see any of that, but you know, when it happens, it happens. So yeah, today's topic is about COVID.
I guess so. COVID safety.
What we think about COVID.
Yeah,
our
that's right.
fun experiences dealing with it.
Yeah, I
or
guess
just
so.
trying to understand it.
It's kind of a look back onto the terrible year that we've had.
an incredibly exciting and fun year that
Yes.
everybody had experienced.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think one thing that I found out really quickly about COVID is everyone just has very different thoughts and, you know, feelings about COVID.
Yeah, very
know.
different kind of like ways that they go about it or ways that they handle it, actions and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been really interesting to me. Like I've never seen people, I guess, so divided over something, you know. I mean,
Right.
some people out there don't even know don't even believe it exists.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and then there's like all these wild conspiracy theories and all that stuff. So just to put it out there, you know, I do believe COVID exists.
Yeah,
I believe
that's
I believe that's a thing.
That's good, yeah.
And I
No.
believe vaccines work and you
Yes.
should get vaccinated.
Yeah, as soon as possible. Try and get fully vaccinated soon. I think the second doses are rolling out. So
Yeah. So it sounds like
definitely-
it sounds like we're on the same page too.
Yeah, definitely on that. Yeah, for sure. For
Okay.
sure.
All right.
So-
That's a good start.
Yeah,
That's a good
that's
start.
right.
Yeah.
So how do you handle COVID, John? Like, how do you kind of make yourself kind of COVID safe in that sense?
Right. So, I mean, I think for me, like, I don't know if like I took it, if I'm to be honest, I don't know if I took it seriously enough.
Right.
Basically at the beginning of COVID, my ex-girlfriend actually dumped me because of COVID.
Right,
Like she
right.
felt like I was going outside too much.
You're right.
And then so what happened was, I think our province went into like a lockdown or something like that.
Yeah.
In March and April of 2020. And then, you know, once things were once like the government kind of cleared things, they were like, okay, like we can kind of start going outside again, sort of.
Yeah.
Meet people in groups of 6 or something like that.
Oh yeah, the safe six. So like this is after first wave.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. So after they said that, I was like, all right, cool. Like, you know, like I'd like to start going outside again. It's been a while. It's been 2 months. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
But like my ex worked in healthcare. So like, you know, I understood that she would be concerned about seeing me if I've been going out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I would, I did my best to kind of inform her like where I've been or like what I'm up to, how many
Yeah.
people I saw and all that stuff. And then so basically, like, I think I went out 2 times. I told her I went out 2 times and then she dumped me. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess, I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
she's either taking it very seriously or I'm not taking it seriously enough.
Right.
I don't know. Like for me, like I personally still don't really understand, like why she dumped me over that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I just don't take it like seriously enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like I guess, you know, like I'm not really afraid of getting COVID. You know, like I mean, there's like worse things out there,
Right.
right?
But are you afraid of like getting COVID?
And spreading it to other people.
Yeah.
Like that would like I would feel bad about that.
Mhm,
Like I'd feel really shitty about that.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if it happens to me, but if I was to get it and then accidentally get it to other people. And because of the nature of COVID, which is like you can have it and you don't know it.
Yeah, because it's like
Kind of like AIDS.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But it's a bit like it because it's just how contagious it is. Like you probably want to be afraid of getting it for the reason of spreading it to other people.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
And I was also living with my parents at that time too.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, that would really suck if I got them. So on one hand, it's like, man, that would really suck if I got them COVID. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't know. I've got my life to live too.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So for me, like one thing that I did in the beginning was I avoided just taking public transportation. I was pretty much biking everywhere. And then I got to work from home as well. So I didn't have to go to the office or anything. And yeah, I was actually supposed to have my road test in March, and then like the government shut down the day before my road test.
Right, of
So
course,
like
yeah.
driving a car was not really an option for me, and I didn't have a car, so like I was looking into doing like car sharing or ride share
Yeah.
with Evo. But like I didn't know how easy it was to transmit COVID over. I don't really know how this thing works, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I probably could be more educated on this stuff, but like I probably know the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm like, wear a mask, don't hang around too many people, and that's pretty much all I know. Yeah, like I honestly just didn't bother to look too much into this stuff, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like I'm also not a medical expert, so it's like if a medical expert says XYZ, then it's like, okay, sure, like I feel like I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important to kind of know kind of like the basic kind of like what you need to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
Try not to get in close contact with people. Trying to maintain the 2 meter distance and everything, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
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 Was that hard for you to do because you're living alone by yourself?
Yeah,
at
that was
time?
definitely. Oh no, it was definitely harder. A lot harder for me. Like I had to. If I needed to deliver anything to my family or anything like that, I couldn't take transit, and then so I had to rent Moto a lot, like the car share.
Okay,
thing.
so that's how you would go see your family.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was pretty expensive in terms of just.
Yeah,
going
that
back
would be
and forth.
expensive.
Yeah,
yeah,
but,
and you also don't know who's been using the car too.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, like if we're in the car, then by then we would have to, start sanitizing the wheel and
Yeah.
all those things too.
That's right.
And so yeah, so that's also very important too. Obviously like no physical touch, so scared of a lot of like it's difficult to, for somebody whose love language is like like one of the top is like physical touch.
Oh yeah,
like
same with
difficult.
Yeah, same with mine.
Yeah, it's very difficult to
Yeah.
go through with that and everything too.
I know.
But yeah, so mostly it's just been like kind of miserably staying indoors and kind of just not sure what to do. I mean, I had my safe 6 at the time, if we're talking about like the first wave. So yes, I had the 6 people that I see and that I stay with, that I like hang out and see every now and then. But even then, like it's kind of like mostly outside. Yeah, not too much happening there. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And then you were working from home as well.
Working from home as well. So
Okay.
luckily I didn't need to. Yeah, I didn't need to go out much.
Right,
So there's a time where all I did was just stay indoors. I didn't even go out to the groceries. I just literally just bought. Already had a lot of toilet paper. I've already fought the crowd on that.
Yeah, yeah, good call.
Yeah, like I bought that already like right away. And then
Did you know like the great toilet paper shortage was going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I had a feeling that would be
the
the first one because in Asia, like a lot of people were buying out toilet paper.
Oh,
so,
I see. So
yeah,
you saw like the trend ahead
before
of time.
before things started happening, I already bought
Wow,
like one big
brain.
old
Big brain.
yeah, and then later on, what is it? Afterwards, and then so what I did was I subscribed to like a
food delivery
service. Yeah, so Fresh Prep.
Are you still subscribed to that?
I'm subscribed to Fresh Prep in a while, but I subscribed to like a food delivery, like a DoorDash type
Yes.
deal. So now I'm unsubscribed from Fresh Prep, but DoorDash is still there. And,
Right.
yeah, just like getting food. So like I'll make my own meals, but then also get food to be delivered to me. So it was a really interesting time just being indoors for.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I was like, if I was to get COVID somewhere, it'd be from the grocery store. You know,
Right,
it's like
right.
everyone's there. There's no social distancing whatsoever.
You're right.
So it's like if it's gonna happen, it's probably gonna happen there.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm like I feel like I'm more likely to get COVID doing my grocery shopping than getting on a crowded train full of people.
Really? You think so? You think that?
I think so.
Because like the grocery store is like it's huge.
It is.
And the
But you
know,
gotta
the
run it-
ventilation and everything is a lot better. Whereas like in a train, it's like enclosed space though.
Yeah, I guess the way I would see it is like I'm more likely to like pass by more people in a grocery store, right? And that's probably where like the COVID, like you'd get COVID, right? Just by being in proximity. Like you can't really, like it's hard to avoid people.
Right.
Whereas like in a train, like yeah, I'm surrounded by people, but there's only going to be like 3 or 4 people that are like really close to me, right?
Fair enough.
Because it's not like I'm moving. I'm staying in one spot on a train.
Yeah.
I'm not running around and everything.
But I think the COVID transmission isn't about like kind of like if you're passing by somebody and you can get it from them. At least that's from what I've read and what I've seen so far.
Okay.
It's more like just like if somebody, let's say, were to like let's say if like, you know, touching, yeah, definitely touching is some too, or like the germs that they have, or like if they're sneezing, let's say if somebody
If
sneezes,
they cough on you.
yeah, if they cough or anything, or if they sneeze or something like that, and it's like hang time in the air, like all the stuff that's in the air that's lingering,
Right.
and then it'll slowly come down, and then when you're passing through that space,
Right.
like that is more likely a chance than let's say if you're passing by somebody.
I see. So
I
is
think,
that,
like-
is that what the mask is supposed to do? It's
Yeah.
supposed to like
Yeah.
stop it from
yeah,
doing its hang time. in the
exactly,
air.
exactly. Yeah, it's supposed to catch that kind of stuff, and also hopefully prevent you from getting your stuff into your kind of orifices in the So that's kind of that's why I think transit is definitely a little bit more, at least a little bit more riskier than
Yeah.
than in the grocery store. Yeah.
Were you ever afraid of like getting COVID?
Yeah, I was afraid, but
Yeah.
even then, I think like I was afraid. But even then, like I think I knew a lot of people who were just like your ex, who were very, very cautious of it.
Uh-huh.
Like for me, like they didn't even have a safe 6. They probably had a safe 1
Yeah.
by the time, which is probably correct for them because the safe 6 system didn't work. Right. We still had a lot of cases going up. And when we had the lockdown, only people who were by themselves could only have a safe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And so like I think that speaks volumes to the fact that like, okay, maybe we weren't, like maybe the government isn't always right? Maybe the government thinks that like, oh, we should have this amount of people, but it turns out it didn't work, right? Like we had a wave 2, right?
So you think like that the safe 6 should have been a lower number?
I think in order to decrease the amount of people getting, because we were starting to get cases were just not coming, just kept getting on the rise.
Yeah.
I think if they enforced just having a safe 1 even, or safe 1 or 2, or kept the same like that wave 2 kind of restrictions, then I think like we would have had a lot less cases and less deaths at least.
I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But I think from like the government's point of view,
Yeah.
they also had to think about if they did try to enforce like a safe 1 or something, then there would be riots and protests.
I mean,
happening.
yeah,
like, from the people who don't take it as seriously, right?
I guess so.
You know,
but I think like if
So I think the government's like kind of stuck in a bind there. It's like there are people who like are like, you know, willing and happy to take it seriously. And then there are people out there who thinks like the government's trying to like control our lives, you know, when they ask
Yeah.
them to put on a mask or some shit.
That's fair. But I think like if they did a safe 1 or safe 2 at the get-go, people like me and you who believe like who follow the rules and believe that COVID exists, at least we'll try and do our best to.
Well, I'm
we'll
gonna
try, I think we'll try
I'm gonna
and
be
do our
honest.
best to.
I didn't always follow the rules.
Okay.
You know, like I know, like yeah, like I definitely saw more than 6 people.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
during that time.
I mean, like we'll get into that later. I think you saw more. Like, I don't think you saw Friends. Is what I think you didn't see Friends at all either. So like that's like, you know, that's something else entirely, John.
Right,
but
right,
like I
right.
mean, but I'm just thinking like I think that if the
I'm just saying I can't claim to always have been like a
Oh, no.
law-abiding citizen.
No, that's the thing.
and
Like
I would,
that's
you
the
know.
thing. I think that it's like it's like driving. if the
Well, a rolling stop.
no, like rolling stop, but no, I'm just talking about like if the rolling. I think it's more likely that, let's say, if the driving limit was set at 50,
Yeah.
sometimes we always say like we go 10 or 20 over the speed limit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes we say that, right? Oh, like yeah, I like to go a little 10 or 20 above the speed limit,
Yes.
right? If they set it at like, so like if they set it at 100,
Right.
then like sometimes we would be like, yeah, I'd go, then we'd go 110 and 120.
Yeah.
But if they set it at 50, then we go 60 and 70.
Yes.
You know, like, so I think it's like the same thing in terms of like, if they set it at 1 or 2,
Yeah.
then maybe we'd see maybe 4 or 5.
That's true, because if they set it at 20, then people would be going 70, 60, 70 anyways.
Yeah. I don't think there are a lot of people who would go if the thing is set at 20.
My mom would go at 20 if it was set at 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or if it's going at 30,
Yeah.
like the school zone's going at 30, I don't think we'd go at 60, 70. You know, like I
Right,
think like
right.
that's I think that's just like I don't claim to have a psychology degree, but I feel like generally most people would like go just above beyond what they're legally allowed to do.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that if they set it at a lower lesser people, then I think we would see lesser people, and then again that would lower the amount of deaths and cases.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, because for me, I don't think I followed it to a T either. I think like there's still some people I probably saw a little bit more than the 6 people that I saw. You know, I'm like always counting every time and like making sure, but like, and I really just did see. I saw you, and I mostly saw my best friend, and I mostly saw these Russian friends that I sort of hung out with, and that's pretty much the bulk of everything. So,
Right. I
so
mean,
it's kind of
that sounds like you're in good company, you know.
yeah, I guess so. Like it's just like I mean, but again, like it's the same thing. Like I like, you know, maybe when I'm heading out for a walk or something, I see some people and
Yeah.
you know, or like I see a friend and like, you know, that's not exactly, you know, within the 6, but still there's some people who are taking it way more seriously than us.
Did you ever have friends ask you to hang out and you had to say no to them because like it would be seeing too many people, or they would be at a place that has too
think-
many people?
Yeah, I think there was just some times where I felt like a little bit more wary, but then at the same time, I don't think a lot of people, just at least within my circle, there's a lot of people who understand
Yeah.
what's happening and what's going on. So a lot of the times we just opt for virtual hangouts and virtual meetups, and I've done a lot of those, like so many of those.
Right.
You know, where we're doing like games online and everything. So there's really
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
How come you never come out to our virtual hangouts, huh?
Oh, I
Huh?
did sometimes.
I haven't seen you in like months. What's
But
going
again,
on?
during those times are like the worst times for me, because sometimes I also already have virtual hangouts, and I did join some, but also during the times
Yeah.
there's work has also
Ah,
been a part of it, where a lot of the people that I talk to is overseas in different time zones, so a
Yeah.
lot of my evenings are also taken out.
Your Friday nights are busy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's when students are off school and they're not doing schoolwork, and
Yeah.
they can have time to speak
Wow.
to somebody.
What a
from the
hard-working man working on a Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, during COVID, there's not really a Friday night or a Thursday night, right? It's all becoming a big blur.
Yeah, that's depressing.
Yeah,
That's very depressing.
Friday nights aren't really sacred anymore, so
Yeah. I know, like for me, I like at the beginning, like I had like it was like summer was just rolling around, right?
Yeah.
And I had people inviting me to parties and stuff. Someone invited me to a backyard party, and I
Yeah,
was like,
which
damn,
is-
I was just like, oh man, I really wanted to go because I just got broken up too, man. And I was like, oh man, I need something like this so badly, but I
Yeah.
didn't go.
And they
And it's
were
just like,
they
oh,
worked.
man.
I remember you telling me this. They worked in healthcare too.
Yeah.
They were a nurse and they had a backyard party.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
So-
like whatever, that's cool. You know, you do you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I had people like invite me out to like birthday parties and going away parties as well. And yeah, it's just like I wanted to go, but it's
Right.
just like I don't know how many people are going to be there, right?
Right.
If I knew like if it was like a more controlled environment, then I'm like comfortable with going out and stuff. But I just don't want to like end up in a situation where it's like, oh, all of a sudden there's like 20, 30 people around me, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, oops, like, you know,
Yeah, that's
what have I done? What have I done?
Yeah.
So that's I guess that's kind of like where I was trying to draw the line
Right.
with regards to like going out,
Going to like huge parties.
or like gatherings, events,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So later on so during that time you did decide to go like dating, right? Decide to go like on online dates, right? To see some other people. But do you feel that an argument would be, if you're seeing like a stranger at the same time, wouldn't that kind of be like you going to a party itself? Because like you don't know who they saw, right? You don't know who, just like how you're not sure who's going to be at the party.
Yeah.
But you don't know who these online people, like who did they see, or because they're dating too, they're probably seeing a bunch of other people. So wouldn't
that's very true.
kind of be like a way to spread the like in COVID in that sense there, because there's just so much uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like there was definitely a risk there.
Right.
And there was no way that I could know if, this person has been seeing like so and so people.
Yeah.
But like I guess that was a risk that I took, because I'm single.
Right.
I'm single and I'm lonely, and that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay. No, but like, during those times too, like, do you guys ever talk about this during your dates as well? Like, do you guys ever talk about like, oh, like, it's COVID, it's lockdown, we're out here together? Like, do you guys have any conversations or like address the elephant in the room kind of thing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, I usually before we meet up, I just ask them like, oh, what do you feel comfortable with? Like, what kind of setting do you feel comfortable in going to? Or like, what are your concerns about COVID and all that stuff? Just because like I have no idea what they're thinking, right? And again, everyone's got very different thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just want to make sure like I address whatever safety concerns that I have.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen like all kinds of different responses, right? It's like some people only wanted to just do like a video call, virtual hangout, that kind of stuff, which is understandable. And then some people were like totally cool with just hanging out and meeting up. Didn't even like ask me anything about like COVID related questions.
Yeah.
And then, some people were like very specific, I think.
Right.
Like there was this lady that was like initially okay with going on a date with me.
Yeah.
But then she found out like I was taking public transportation, and then she didn't feel okay after that. So, the lines are drawn like all over the place. And for me, like I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to tell them what they think. All I can do is like, this is what you believe in, and like all I can do is respect your boundaries and your safeties and concerns.
Right.
And like if they ask me about like, I don't know, like where I've been or who I'm seeing, like I'm not gonna lie about it too.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
gonna be honest about it.
No, of course. I think it's definitely needed to, like, especially if you're seeing the person too, right? Like, it's
I mean, like honestly, like I would feel like such a douchebag if like I saw someone and I got them COVID,
Right.
Although like I don't know, like at that point, like it would like how would you tell who got who, right?
Right.
But it's like that thought would always be my mind if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you feel that like if that thought is in your mind, don't you want to reduce the amount of chances that you receive?
But like just not like going on a date, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess like part of it is like if I just don't see this person, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it's just like, oh man, like I just want to like go on a date. Like
it's fair.
Honestly, yeah,
it's fair. I mean, I guess like a lot of people have their needs too. Like, yeah, I mean, like I'm single for a good 5 years, so
right.
Like it's tough for sure.
Yeah.
It's rough to, be alone, living alone and everything too. So it's like it's
and like for me, like I got dumped in like a really shitty way.
Yeah.
So it was like I guess part of it was like I was kind of, looking for something to keep that off, get over it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
As much as that sucks to say, but I think I was looking for something to get over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And okay. It's just during a terrible time to be doing, because it's just like just getting dumped in the middle of COVID. I totally get it. Like there's been some friendship type of.
It's happened to a lot of people actually.
Fallouts and everything. Yeah, during just the worst possible time, and it hits you the hardest. So I 100% agree in terms of.
It's like, oh shit, man. I got dumped. I'm living with my parents. Like I feel like a fucking loser. And So I guess like to like get me like I felt like I was kind of in a rut, and then so I had to like put myself out there to kind of I don't know, feel something. I don't know what the feeling I was chasing, but
Right.
I was looking for something.
Right.
Just something, yeah, something to like get me out of a rut that I was in, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's understandable. Yeah, it's just understandable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely it's definitely complicated for sure. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like also, especially when they banned indoor dining earlier
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
That made things really complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, because it's like normally like when you go on a date, you want to have like something planned, right?
Right.
And it's like it's hard to plan stuff when you have no idea what's open. You don't, and if it is open, you don't know if there's going to be seating or spaces.
Right.
Because all this dining has to take place outdoors. No one's taking reservations. So the plan is basically we'll go here and hope there's a spot for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too good. But
Yeah.
honestly, that's like, that's like the only thing you can do. Or when it's cold, right? It's like nobody wants to go outside
Yeah.
when it's cold.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can just invite them to your place then, right?
Yeah, totally not weird.
Yeah, totally not weird.
Yeah,
at all.
oh no, I guess we don't have any options. So
Yeah,
I guess you could just have to come over to my place.
Speaking of which, though, like, how far were you in terms of? I don't know about like certain dates and whatnot, but like during that time when you were going out on these dates, like if the other party was consensual, how far were you willing to go in terms of just intimacy? Would you be willing to go all the way?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So like even though you're not sure, like like making out and everything too.
Right.
Like when I talked about okay, hold on a second. When I talked about the grocery store,
Right.
like the whole like, oh, you're worried about the grocery store,
Right,
and then
right.
you're worried about the train.
Yeah.
Let's say the grocery store is here about
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
and then the train's here. Just to let you know, making out with somebody
Well-
with COVID. Sorry, I don't think people can see. The grocery store is like all the way down
We'll
here.
raise the camera.
And then the grocery store is all the way down here, and like the train's around like about here or so.
Right.
Making out is probably above here, right? In
Yeah.
terms of getting COVID, like exchanging fluids.
Right.
As gross as it may sound, sorry everybody, but making out is quite up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, maybe I just don't understand COVID, but I guess to me, it's like the risk of getting COVID comes from like being in contact with more people. So for me, right, like the way that I see it is I would be making out with one person. Like I don't go around making out with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So,
But don't you feel that like because they're people who, but then they're
maybe they made out with someone else too.
exactly because they're into online dating, right? So if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
into online dating, chances are, and they're female, so chances are they get a lot of connections and they get a lot of matches and they still go on a lot of dates. And depending on how loose they are in terms of their restrictions wise, in terms of like how
Depends how open.
how
I
open
guess.
they are. I don't
Yes.
know why we're loose,
Yeah.
but like they're
maybe not loose.
not
That's
loose,
the-
but like
that's not the
no,
word.
but like their restriction. I don't know. I was thinking loose restrictions, but like
right. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But like how like open they are in terms of intimacy and contact.
Right.
Then in terms of then they could be making out with other people, right?
Very true.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess for me, like I don't usually think about getting that far with someone, like unless we're like in a serious relationship.
right.
So and like I guess like the people that I normally see too
Yeah.
are like looking for something serious too. So
Right,
like
right.
it's like I don't think they're just making out left, right, and center with other people.
So yeah, I guess so.
So, like-
but like, wait, have you made out with people on your dates before?
Yes, I have.
You have, right?
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
But like, okay. So just a second. You've made out with dates on them before, right?
Right.
But in the end, unfortunately, you didn't end up going on a serious relationship with them.
Right.
And then there are the people that
Yeah. So-
but they've made out with you already.
Yes.
So can't other people be at around the same level as well? So can they have been
yes.
making out with other people, but then never continue with that serious relationship?
Yes, that could have totally happened.
Okay. Just so we're on board with this.
We
It's
are
just
on
like,
the par.
As much as I wish that,
I regret nothing.
she only made out with us.
I regret absolutely nothing.
Okay. No, that's fair. But I know, but I'm saying as much as we feel that they only made out with us.
Yeah. Oh no! I mean, that would be nice, right? But I'm the world doesn't work like that.
Yeah. That's right. Because you as well made out with other people as well, right? It's not just that one person. It's you also make out if they're both parties are consensual.
Yes.
Because you too could have loose. You too have loose restrictions.
Loose lips?
You do have loose restrictions, so you would definitely, yeah. So there's so don't you feel that in that sense there when we're trying to go back to it?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So honestly, in that moment, right? When that opportunity presented itself,
Yeah.
I am not thinking about, oh man, I might get COVID if I make out with this girl. I'm just we're gonna make out, and it's gonna be great. That. Honestly, that is all I'm thinking at that point.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie. There's no part of my brain's COVID. I'm sorry, but that was just not a thought that crossed my mind.
You don't ever when you watch movies and you see a bunch of people hang out in a crowd and stuff, or people let's say in a stadium or whatever, and you never think oh shit, that's crazy. We don't do that anymore because it's COVID and all that stuff.
Right.
You don't ever think about that, or you don't ever think oh man, you're having dinner with somebody and let's say there's maybe some rice or something in the middle and whatnot, and you guys have your own respective spoons. You guys don't think of COVID. It's oh man, maybe we should get a community spoon or something. Because right now with restrictions restrictions being loosened and everything, it feels I don't know, I still think about it. I'm still conscious of that whole.
Right.
And I think people still are, obviously, but I think it's still oh man, let's have some community spoon or something. Or when somebody asks you to have a sip of something after they finish sipping, you're just before it used to be no hesitation, right? And yeah. Okay, sorry, I just made that noise. For those audio listeners there, but I'm slurping on something. Okay, so
that was a great sound effect.
Yeah. I'm no questions asked. But now when somebody hands it to me, I'm you know what? I'll just stick to my drink. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know. Maybe I just never got into the habit of thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. The only habits I really got into was putting on a mask. And I have to put the mask literally in front of the door before I walk out, or otherwise I would forget about it.
Right.
So I have to do that to remind myself.
Yeah.
And also just washing my hands everywhere. That's pretty much all I got into with my habits.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything else just kind of slipped my mind, I guess. Passed through the cracks there.
Because of passion and love.
Yeah, there's some big cracks here. There's some big cracks here for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then of course, obviously, you'd go all the way intercourse.
I mean, if that happened, which it never did, but
yeah.
If it had happened, I'm pretty sure I would not have hesitated.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Damn. That's mad. I mean, I wish I can.
I mean,
oh man.
I mean, when you're in that situation, it's just it's the emotions are so strong, right?
Right.
It's you just can't think about anything else.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So best thing to do is just not put yourself in that place in the first place.
Right.
Stay single.
Yeah.
Just don't go on dates, right?
Really.
Just don't do that.
Really.
Yeah.
But if you were to do it, if you were to go back in time all over again.
Okay.
And during this time where we were
before I broke up with my ex?
After your ex broke up and everything, and then the restrictions, we're having lockdown and everything.
Right.
1 or 2 people. We're technically limited to 1 to 2 people and everything. Would you do all this? Would you do all this again?
So if the restriction was only limited to 1 or 2 people?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very interesting question.
No, but it did happen, didn't it? It did happen where we were limited to 1 or people who were living alone are limited to 1 or 2 people.
Did it?
Yes, it did, John.
I also didn't do a good job with keeping up with the health orders.
Yes,
not
it
gonna
did,
lie,
John.
yeah.
At one point, you were my only person that I saw.
Right.
Remember? Yeah.
I remember that. We
Yes, yes.
we held hands together.
Yes, yes.
And we swore to be what was that term?
Oh, that was before.
Right.
That was
We held hands and we swore an oath or something like that.
Yeah. That's
Right.
right. So, like during that time, I think no, that was before. That was actually before. That was only, or was it? I actually forgot. But
I know everything's just blurring right now.
no, but like during that time,
Okay.
there was a 1 or 2 person lockdown.
Okay.
for a
So let's go back to the question. So if there was a 1 or 2 person lockdown,
when there was a 1 or 2
when there was a 1 or 2 person lockdown,
Yeah.
what would I have done differently?
Yeah, would you have done anything differently?
I'm not sure I understand the question because like nothing has changed then, right? Like if we're doing this theoretical go back in time kind of thing.
Yeah, because you were going through online dating, right?
Yes.
So during that whole
Yes.
time, you were seeing people online. I'm just wondering, like, would you still do what you have done?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
You would still do it, right?
Yeah, I don't see like anything that I would have done differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have changed anything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think that's where I think that's definitely, it's safe to say this is where we disagree on like, you know, in terms of COVID safety.
I hear you.
It was just like, in terms of just, it's just a little bit more riskier to see some people that, I get it if you're seeing friends, then like at least it's easier to be like, hey, you know, who like, you know, I know that, you know, we understand each other, like we know who we've seen and everything, like here are the lists that we've seen and whatnot, and we just like meet together. But then I guess at the same time, like you were one of my people for this podcast, and so I guess I too ended up seeing all those dates that you saw.
It's okay because we didn't make out.
In
so,
a sense,
like,
I mean, I guess so. But we're still like in pretty close proximity with each other. Oh boy, but you know, retrospect, like okay, so
if you had known this, like going back in time, and you had known like all these people that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
would you have still been okay with, comfortable with hanging out or no?
I think that kind of went back to like a little bit more to the whole fact that there's I think there's a bit of it was also the reason why I took a hiatus as well, is because like
a hiatus from
the podcast, like we had a 2-week
Yes.
hiatus,
Yes.
because like my vaccine was coming up,
Yeah.
and I realized that like, okay, I think you're starting to see more people like on dates and everything, and then so like a part of me was just thinking like I have to play it safe. So I have to play it safe and not, because if I get any symptoms at all, my vaccine will get delayed.
right.
And
Okay.
so
and
I'm
really,
trying.
and you really don't want that to happen.
I really don't want that. I don't think anybody does want that to happen. If they're keen on getting the vaccine,
Right.
They
I
want
mean,
to get it.
there's some people who don't want to get the
Yeah,
vaccine.
there's some people, but I'm
we'll-
saying
we'll get there.
I'm saying, but like for people who are keen on getting the vaccine,
Yeah.
people would want to get it as soon as possible.
Right.
So like for me, I was thinking, oh man, like I was thinking, okay, if you're like like you're starting to see more people and you're getting more dates, and like Hinge is getting more ratchet, you know, more lit,
Ratchet.
more lit. So I was thinking, you know what? So that's why I had like when I told you that I wanted to go on that hiatus, is because I just want to play it safe.
Yeah.
In terms of the vaccine. So in retrospect, I think like if we're going back in time, I think I should have maybe changed my mind and maybe take that hiatus a little longer, just to play it safe.
Right.
Just for safety concerns and just like wanting to not have to delay my vaccine any longer, you know. Luckily though, so that's a good thing though. Luckily though, everybody was fine. I think we're okay. Like I don't think we ever really gotten sick. But that's just like, you know, symptomatic at least. Asymptomatic, not too sure about that. But so far, looks like the people that I've come into contact with has been okay. So luckily,
Yeah.
we pulled out. And
we pulled out.
we pulled
I mean, we
out.
pulled through.
And nobody got pregnant. Okay, so like so because that in itself, like I don't know, like I kind of like to use that example a lot too, right? Because it's just like, I think it's just like it's always a gamble, it's a risk, right? It's never just pulling out. The pull-out game isn't foolproof. It's just like it's a gamble, right? And so
Right.
I think doing all this stuff is a gamble itself, right? And so doing this is just equating to pulling it out, you know, just trying to play it safe.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah,
You know, I can respect that decision.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. No, you're very great about it. Just like you totally understand, which is good.
I mean, I think honestly, like it just never like thought about. It just never occurred to me that it would be like a concern for you. Like if you had asked, like if you had asked me, I would have
Yeah.
been like, yeah, like this and that happened.
Yeah.
But it's like
yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to like tell you because like for me it's just like whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
No.
for putting you in that
It's all
spot
good. No, it's just like
where-
I should have taken a little longer for the hiatus to work out before I, because I was just like, man, I'm just like crossing my fingers, holding on, waiting to get that vaccine. You know,
Oh,
that's
I see.
really like my main kind of concern.
Yeah.
It's just like I just want that vaccine. I'm just waiting so long for it and everything. So I'm just
Yeah.
hoping to get it as soon as possible.
Well, and thankfully we all got there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we all
yeah.
got our first vaccine.
You know, yeah, and now we have to hold on that the Delta whatever doesn't mess us up.
Yep,
and
that's
everything.
right. That's right.
So that's also like a huge thing. We don't get the Brazilian variant.
There's a Brazilian variant?
There is a Brazilian. That's
Oh.
what decimated the Canucks.
Oh,
You know?
is it?
Yeah, and
Oh,
I'm just
oh,
thinking,
damn.
yeah, and to me, I was just thinking, like, holy, like, if the Canucks, these full-grown athletes, and who got the vaccine probably a lot sooner because of what they do and everything, and their full contact and everything like that,
Right.
are able to get a variant or the Brazilian variant. Like, what's gonna happen to us, right? Like, I'm not in peak physical shape or form. Like, I'm not even in medium peak physical shape or form. Like, that's gonna mess us up. So, that's a little scary. So I hope that doesn't happen to any of us.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, we seem to be like doing pretty well right now.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, like we've fallen below 50 cases per day,
Yeah.
which is very exciting to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, just hopefully things continue to look up. Things
Yeah.
continue to look up for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's so I'm just glad that right now this is over and we can kind of just like have an episode where we can kind of look back on everything.
Well, I mean, it's almost over.
It's almost over.
God,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
It's
fucking hope
almost
it's almost over. Like,
yeah. It's still very much a thing. Like we're still,
It's still a
but
possibility.
At least we're heading back towards normalcy.
Did you have any concerns about like getting the vaccine or anything?
Concerns about just
like
like
side effects or something? Because I know people who like have like done like tons of research
Yeah.
onto like the different types of vaccine out there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, a vaccine's a vaccine. Just give me whatever. Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
asking me, oh, what do you want to get? I'm like, I don't have a choice.
Honestly,
like just hit me with whatever you got.
Yeah, on that. Yeah, I'm also on that train as well.
Yeah.
I've had many debates with family about this because my family is very, very concerned about the different types of vaccines because they heard about the blood clots.
Is your
and everything.
family? Did your family get vaccinated? You
My
don't.
family-
You don't have to tell it.
Yeah, my family has booked it now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's taken them some time.
It's taking some time. Yeah.
see.
So heading towards that direction finally.
Right.
But I think that because they're holding out on the Pfizer one, so they're really hard.
That seems to be the one everybody wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for me, I got Moderna, so
Right.
I'm all right.
Potatoes.
For me, I was a little concerned about AstraZeneca.
Okay.
Because of just
is that the blood clot one?
That's a blood clot one, but to be
Sure.
honest, I think all vaccines had a history of giving blood clots to people.
Right.
But that's just that's the percentage is very low.
Yeah.
However, it's just that people didn't really like the AstraZeneca, and for me, maybe I've just been convinced, and my mom has been pleading me not to get the AstraZeneca. She already didn't
I
really want
see.
me to get the vaccine to begin with. She wants
Okay.
to wait
Okay.
until it's a little bit less time.
It's like nope.
No, but like but for me, I'm like, no, I have to get the vaccine.
Yes.
So this is for that, like, yeah. And so, but she's like, okay, if you do decide to defy me, at least get the Pfizer.
Sure.
And so,
So did you lie to your mom?
so I got Moderna. No, I didn't really mention to her about the. I just like didn't really
Yeah.
mention to her that I
Yeah.
even got the vaccine, but like just like whatever. So for me at least, like I'm like, okay, maybe I'll avoid AstraZeneca. But if you're to tell me that on my booking day and I go there to the clinic and in the beginning they tell me, hey, we're only doing AstraZeneca today, honestly, not gonna lie,
You might have done a U-turn.
I'm just gonna go get my AstraZeneca.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm
Okay,
not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
gonna just like.
Well, it sounds like we're on the same page.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
back to the same page.
No, we
about
are.
that.
We are,
which
yeah.
is exciting.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now they'd say like a mix and match, so second shot, all right, let's do this, let's go, let's get our second shots and let's let's do our thing, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I didn't ever think like the family influence would play into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, for
Right?
sure, because they're just super concerned with these types of things, and they're really paranoid about all
Yeah.
those things as well, and so it
Yeah.
happens.
I don't know. Like, it just never like was a concern to me, right? Because it's like I'd rather feel like I don't know half of what the COVID effect is than risk getting like the full effect of COVID.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
so it's like it seemed like an obvious decision for me.
Right.
You know, whether there are actually side effects or not. Like I'm still gonna go get it.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, the side effects are way better than just getting COVID. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
So
yeah.
it's like I would rather like 100% get the side effects
Yeah.
than risk 10% getting COVID or whatever, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
also because like I am like out and about, I guess,
Right.
right? It would be the responsible thing to do
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, thankfully, I didn't have that debate with my parents. Like my parents are like full on law abiding citizens to the T.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, so they like sign up to get vaccine as soon as possible. And they kept badgering me like, when are you getting your vaccine? When are you getting your vaccine? I'm like, I don't know. I was like,
Well, it's like an age thing, right? It's like it depends on when you get it. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not up to us. It's
yeah,
up to
I'm
the
not, I'm
government.
not 60, mom.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
wow, okay, yeah, but I'm glad I didn't have that issue.
yeah, no. It's I'm glad. So we're.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Because like
I'm-
I guess it more boggles my mind. Like I can understand like if you just don't believe vaccines don't work, like if you think they're like some kind of hoax or whatever,
Yeah.
and you don't get the vaccine, like that makes sense to me. Like I mean, I don't want to like talk to you, but
Yeah.
like I can understand that line of reasoning, right?
But it's like kind of asking anti-vaxxers for their babies, right? Like
Right,
unvaxxed
right.
babies. Like you'd vax your babies, right?
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think it's like the
yeah,
same
so it's
thing.
like if you're an anti-vaxxer and you don't want to get the vaccine, right? I can put two and two together. But it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you believe in vaccines and you don't want to get the vaccine, then that's confusing to me.
Yeah, that's
You know,
confusing.
but-
I don't think there are a lot of people who are like that. I guess maybe, but they're more like.
I feel like there's quite a
I think
few.
like the way that the parents see it is just like they believe in the vaccine, they believe in COVID, they believe that there is a vaccine, but they don't believe the vaccine is 100% effective because
Right,
it isn't
right.
100%.
It's
effective.
not.
and there's side
but,
effects.
But like no vaccines, like 100%,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
But they
From-
believe that if they just hold up, because I think that parents are a lot. I don't know about your parents, but I think that some of my friends' parents and our parents are a lot more COVID safe
Yeah.
than us.
Yeah.
They don't have their safe six. They don't have their. They don't. I don't think they really did their safe six, and which is I think.
like
it's
so they
just-
did more or less than
Le-
6.
They less
right?
less than 6, 100%. They
Yeah.
if they were told to stay indoors and do whatever, they will stay indoors and not do whatever. I don't think a lot of them will go
Yeah.
out and see their friends and everything.
Yeah, I mean
And
my parents are like that too.
Exactly,
I mean,
but that my mom is like that for sure, and
Yeah.
my other like my aunts and uncles are all like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like, and it's just also, oh look at this average Asian boys type thing. We're bringing it back, and I also think that that is the kind of Asian mindset as well, which is why Asia did way better than North America in terms of handling their COVID
Right,
safety,
right.
and where they were able to go back to normalcy a lot sooner than all of us, even when their cases were so high.
Yeah.
you
Well, it's
know?
because we are raised in a collectivist culture.
Yeah.
Right? Where like everything that we do is for the greater good of everyone else.
Yeah.
Whereas like in North America, it's more individualistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's like the big difference.
yeah. So that's why. To them, they feel that they won't be able. They're okay with holding on a little longer for vaccines.
Yeah.
Because.
'Cause they're not going out in the
They're not
first
going to go
place.
out in the first place, and they think
Right.
like I'd rather wait for a nicer, a better vaccine to come in. Before.
Pfizer version
Pfizer
2.
Plus.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like Pfizer Plus or anything, right?
Right.
It's kind of like laser eye surgery. Like my mom still doesn't believe in it, and even it's been like 10 years.
Oh, my
plus
parents
now.
don't believe in it either.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
she's still like, no, I'm not gonna shoot a laser in my eye.
Right.
Like, you know, like get out of here. Like yeah. So
Well, it's more like the cutting of your eye and putting something in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like,
that's right.
You want to beam my eye? Sure. But
Yeah,
like,
but
want to
you're
cut
gonna-
my eye open? Okay, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Just hang on there, buddy.
That's right. And so I think that it's it's still she still worries about the side effects and everything. So
Right.
it's gonna take a little longer for them to adapt to that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I heard in Hong Kong actually, like they're trying to encourage people to, because a lot of people there are also afraid of like the side effects for the vaccine.
Yeah.
So the government is trying to encourage people to get the vaccine by like entering people in a draw to win a 500 square foot apartment in Hong Kong. Now, for those of you who don't know like housing sizes in
Yeah.
Hong Kong, I had a friend who lived in a 2-bedroom apartment that was 400 square feet.
Yep.
I don't know how you fit 2 bedrooms in that size.
That's Hong Kong
so
for
a,
ya.
So a 500 square foot is like a luxury apartment in Hong Kong.
It's a freaking loft.
Yeah, it is. You know,
Yeah.
that's a high life right there.
That's right.
So every time you go get a vaccine, you get one entry.
Yeah.
So you get 2 vaccines, you get double the entry. you
Yeah,
know?
that's right,
And
that's
that's how
right.
they're trying to get people to go get themselves vaccinated right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like damn, that is a big prize right
It
there.
is. It's or I think there's a state somewhere in the States where if you get a vaccine, you get into a draw for $1 million.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
like some kind of lottery.
And it's like, yo, man, where's our lottery?
I
here?
know.
Well, what's
I
going
guess
on?
so.
BC
Damn.
lottery. Come on, let's
For
go.
being- I
Step
can't
it
believe
up.
I can't believe we're getting punished for being too trusting.
Yeah.
Of the vaccines. Like we don't get.
Come
to,
on, BC,
Can't
step it
believe
up.
this. Exactly.
Where's our lottery?
Jeez. We get a sticker. That's what we get.
Yeah.
All we get is a stinking sticker.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want no sticker.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh man. So do you think overall, like the rules were like too strict or too loose?
For what? For BC? Or
For BC.
For BC, I think there at one point it was like confusing. I think for a lot of people it was
Yes.
pretty confusing. I think that they could have, for the time when we had a safe 6 and when things were starting to open up again, there was always a fear of the wave 2.
Yep.
And I think that we could have been a little bit more strict on that during that part, for sure. We could have either shortened the amount of time or started that safe 6 thing later,
Yep.
or we could because, we were still on the rise in terms of our cases. And so I think it was best if we can be a little bit more strict on things.
Yep.
Maybe we could have done the whole like mandatory masking stuff a lot earlier. I think like I have some contacts in the hospital and everything. And I knew when we got our first case of COVID before the news broke out. And that happened, I think, probably in January or February even. Or I
Yep.
think it was probably February.
Yep.
I think during that time when we had our first case of COVID, or even maybe like our first 5 cases of COVID, I think we should have already started, taking precautions. I mean,
Yep.
in February, people were making fun of other people wearing masks.
Right,
I remember
right.
that too.
Okay.
So like people like, especially in Richmond, people were making fun of people like aunties in Richmond wearing masks, and they
Right.
were the true wise ones. They knew what was going on because of what happened in the past too, and
Yeah.
also like
yeah, they went through SARS. They're like,
SARS,
yeah,
dude,
We're not
like-
going to do this. We're not going to do this shit again.
exactly. So they were so well prepared and everything, and so I think that I think we could have done it a lot earlier, or at
I
least
think people who would have followed the rules would have like naturally been like, I guess, taking precautions anyways. Like you didn't need to tell those people what to do. They would have done it themselves anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's always better to have it in black and white.
I mean, yeah. You definitely need some like, you definitely need a push from the government, I think.
yeah, the guidelines.
Yeah. But it's like if people like the people who weren't going to follow the rules were not going to do it. We're never going to do it anyways. Like
Right.
you could give them like a safe 10 or 20, and they still would have seen more than that.
Yeah, but like I said, just going back to the whole driving over the speed limit thing.
Yes.
I'm not thinking that we're gonna reach out to the anti-vaxxer people.
Right,
You know,
right,
like
yeah,
we're not
yeah.
reaching out to those people, the people who don't care about the rules, who do like protests about
Yeah.
how COVID is like a hoax, right? But we're talking about reaching out to the people who are kind of in the middle ground. Maybe
Yeah.
people like you and me, right? Who,
Yeah.
like, if, like I said, if it was 1 or 2, then maybe we do 1 or 2, or maybe we do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Instead of, I think for those who kind of break the rules but still want to follow them, kind of the ish thing,
Yep.
I think that it would be,
Yeah.
it would.
You need to like a direction and some guidelines.
I think it would at least have
kinda-
saved a couple lives, at least a couple.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to wrap up this podcast by
Yeah.
talking about how did you feel how did you handle COVID? I think, or how did you feel like you responded to like the situation? Did you think you like played it safe? Do you think you did like a good job following the guidelines?
well,
Or
I don't-
how do you feel like
I think
with how you acted.
I think in
guess.
the beginning for me, I don't think I played it safe. I don't think I played it as
Okay.
safe as it
Yeah.
was.
I mean, you did go on like a trip right before, like 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You knew it was happening, but
Yeah.
like nothing was official
I went,
yet, right? So-
yeah. So before like I did go on a trip before like in August, when they were talking about just like different areas and everything, right? I think like before those kind of borderlines closed and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I did go on a trip to Kelowna, which is like one of the worst trips I've ever been on. But that's
Wait.
another story for another time.
Wait, what? You just gonna throw? It's like,
That's
oh, one of the
another-
worst trips I've ever been
No,
on.
no,
It's like,
no,
oh,
no.
story for another. What?
It's okay. It's okay. Actually, it's probably not a story. No, that's just a personal
All
thing.
right, all right, all
But
right,
like it's
all right.
it's like but I think as I told you before, I think during the safe six, I did see a little bit more than 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to space them out as every 2 weeks as possible.
Yep.
It's like 2 weeks, and then like don't see somebody for a good 2 weeks, and then see, because that was during that time like 14 days was kind of like the magical number for
Yes.
figuring out whether or not you have COVID.
Yeah,
kind of
the
thing,
2 week.
right?
Yep.
2 week quarantine.
That's
so,
right.
So that was what I was kind of doing. But to be honest with you, I mean, I think like if like I don't know if I would say I played it safe. I mean, there was a lot of time I was alone and stuff. Like a lot of time I was miserable alone.
Yeah.
In my apartment. Not gonna lie. I don't think I played it 100% safe. I think I still had a lot of friends who were a lot better than me in that sense. And I can safely say that if everybody were like my friends who were playing it safe like that, I think we would be experiencing this maybe even half a year, 8 months prior to
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
that's I can say that with a guarantee.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
think like at the beginning you could have done a better job?
Oh, yeah.
because I
I
think,
think so.
like it felt like in my opinion, like you handled it pretty well for like the majority of
Yeah.
especially when we're going through like its worst phase.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so. But like I said, it's I guess it's subjective in terms of just how safe we want to see.
It totally is.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's like if we want to, I mean, in one term, define safety, right? In terms of,
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like what is safe?
well, yeah, right.
What is 6 people?
Yeah, I just think that like if we, if everybody honestly, if everybody played a lot safer, then we'd be free, a lot more free later
Yeah.
on.
I would say for me, like if I was to honestly, I guess, rate myself,
Yeah.
I was not reckless by any means, but I would say I was definitely motivated by selfishness, I think. Like I definitely took more risks than I probably should have
Yeah.
because like I wanted to go out and meet people.
Right.
And
But you didn't like doing it virtually, right? Like, you
yeah,
don't
no,
like
no,
virtual
I
dating.
just don't enjoy that at all.
So
I'll be honest.
yeah.
Like for sure, like I much prefer the human connection, I guess.
Okay.
The in-person connection.
Right.
And yeah, like I guess like if I had stayed home, like I was supposed to, I probably would have been really miserable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I chose not to be miserable over the greater good of all people, I guess. So that's what I mean when I said like I probably acted selfishly because like I chose to pursue happiness rather than try to do my part better and
Right.
protect all the general population by going out less.
Right.
So that would be my honest take
Right.
about myself.
So going back in time, you'd still do it again? Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
okay.
I regret nothing.
Okay.
I regret nothing.
All right. Okay. But like knowing the fact, like, let's say, I don't know, like just like knowing the fact that, like, if you, like, because I don't think you had anything to do with any of the cases or anything. But like, let's say, like,
Right. Like if I did get COVID, like if
Like,
I
let's
had
say if you-
been
yeah.
infected with COVID,
Yeah.
then I probably would have thought differently, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess part of it is also because like, oh, I never got COVID, so I'm totally fine,
Yeah,
Which is obviously a very terrible way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like, so I do have that bias.
But
I
if you
guess.
did have COVID
If
and you spread it to somebody,
Yeah, if I got COVID and I got it to someone, I'm sure I would have felt totally different.
okay,
Yeah.
you would, and I asked you this question, and you'd be like, no, I would have been
Oh.
more safe and not go on these dates.
I think so. Not sure. Hard to say.
Okay,
hard to sure. Hard to say.
Because you got COVID,
Right.
So then you're part of that statistic now.
Yes,
You're
I am part of. I'm part of the problem.
You're part of.
I am part of. I would have been part of the problem.
Okay.
I honestly don't like. I honestly do not know how I would have reacted if I had gotten COVID.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I
I mean, hey,
I would like to say I made a
praise you
mistake
for
and
your
I-
honesty.
Like,
I praise you for your honesty.
I would like to say
no.
I made a mistake and I'm never doing this again. But like, I truly don't know.
Okay.
And I
mean, no,
yeah.
no. That's good. I mean, it's good that you're honest. Like, honest. You're good that you're being honest here. So, it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, like it's like people have so many different thoughts, like you said in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, like the best way to go about it is to convey your views about COVID honestly with, you know, the other person that you might be interacting with.
Yeah.
And you can agree or disagree with that person, but at the end of the day, all you can do is respect your decision.
Right.
You know, it's like if I strongly disagree with your decision, like
Right.
maybe if you're anti-vaxxer or something, then all I can do is just be like, I do not wish to interact with you.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. Or same thing, if a person does not wish to interact with me because like I see more than 6 people, then all I
Right.
can do is respect their boundary.
right.
Yes.
Right. No, for sure. No, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Do you like? I know that like I think like people might not be not concerned about you maybe seeing some more than 6 people, but I think like the main concern will probably be like you seeing or physically seeing
Yeah.
strangers. I think
Right,
that
right.
would be the. Especially when it's like it's a dating, especially if it's a dating app, it means that it's like a networking, it's
Yeah.
like a networking app essentially, right? It's like a network. So they're not only are you seeing that person, but the other person seeing other people too.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's because like I've seen this map before for AIDS. And back then in high school, they're like, if this person has HIV/AIDS, they're like,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
yeah.
together with this person,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
sleep with another. Have you seen that map?
No,
Okay.
no, I haven't, but I can imagine it.
yeah. And then they have that, and that starts spreading out. you know.
Happy to report I am AIDS-free.
I am AIDS-free as well,
Yes.
but like it's kind of
the AIDS-free Asian boys.
yeah. So it's like I've seen that map before. I think they were most likely concerned about that.
Yeah.
I think if anything,
Yeah.
um,
That's a legit concern.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think like I guess a part of me just also has like huge blinders on, you know, huge blinders, right?
Yeah.
It's like part of my character flaw, like really, right? Like I'm extremely oblivious to like things,
Right.
Sometimes,
Right.
and like I kind of see the world in a way that suits me, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's like
I mean, in a sense, it's like you will lead a happier life for sure.
I do.
I mean, that is
Ignorance
for sure.
ignorance is bliss.
You
That is
will-
very true.
you will
for
lead a
better
happier
or for
life.
worse, ignorance is true bliss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, it's just, I mean, it works in some cases for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's better sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining
Wow.
us today on this more serious discussion about COVID, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have any COVID stories, or you want to tell us how you handled your COVID, just to look back on the year of terribleness that we've come across,
Yeah.
please let us know. Email us aaboyspodcast@gmail.com, or comment down below on our YouTube video, and feel free to subscribe, Spotify, anywhere you can find your podcasts, and
Yeah, or let us know how you think we should have handled COVID, you know, whether you agree or disagree with our point of views.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your thoughts too on that.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Well, okay. Well,
And on that note, thank you for joining us today. We'll see
thank
you next time.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.